Good morning, students. In the last class, we have seen what is law of variable proportion. Okay, so here one factor जो है it remains the same. Okay, it is fixed, it is constant, whereas the other factor is a variable factor. Okay, so that we have seen. Today we are going to see the stages. I have explained you one diagram and with one example also, that is a table. So first stage में क्या होता है, it increases. Okay, it initial stage में क्या होता है, it increases, whereas जो second stage रहता है वहाँ पे क्या होता है, slowly it starts decreasing, it comes to zero. And when it is third stage, it starts diminishing, wherein marginal product जो है it becomes negative, or average product जो है it will start diminishing. Okay, so that stages I'll explain you in this class. Okay, so let's see the stages. So there are three stages. First one is stage 1, that is OF. Okay, जो diagram हम लोगों ने देखा, in that we have OF. So here total product जो है, it is initially what happens, it increases at an increasing rate. Okay, but later what will happen, it starts diminishing. In marginal product में क्या होता है, it increases and reaches to the maximum point and then it starts decreasing. And here average product जो होता है, it increases and reaches the maximum point, whereas average product is equal to marginal product. In the second stage, that is your FG stage, यहाँ पे क्या होता है, increases at a diminishing rate and reaches a maximum point. Okay, that is at point G. Okay, whereas marginal product जो है, it increases and becomes zero at C. Okay, and average product जो है, it after reaching its maximum, it begins to decrease. Okay, the third stage is after G, it begins to fall, it becomes negative and it is continuous to diminishing. Okay, so here there are three stages, that is your first stage, second stage and the third stage. Okay, so third stage पे what happens, total product will start falling, marginal product will become negative and average product will continue to diminish. Okay, so here it is the initial stage. First stage क्या है, it is initial stage where everything starts increasing. Okay, and here marginal product, your total product, average product, everything starts increasing and slowly it will start to fall. In the second stage, the product continues to increase at a diminishing rate and its maximum point. Okay, and slowly it will become to fall. Okay, here marginal product जो है, it will become zero and average product जो है, it will go start to decrease, where it will become equal to marginal product. In this third stage, it is beyond the product G. Okay, in this stage every total product will start declining, every product will become also start declining, whereas marginal product will turn negative. Okay, so your law of diminishing returns, the forms manifest itself. Okay, so no firm will produce at this stage because marginal product of the labor becomes negative, the employee will suffer losses for employing more. Okay, so here in this stage they are not supposed to employ more because it will lead to losses to the owner. Okay, so here there are three stages, that is your first stage, second stage and the third stage. Now we will see the applicability of law of variable proportion, where you can apply this law. Okay, now this law we can apply only when there is production. Okay, so it can be applied in the all fields of production. For example, agriculture, industry, where there is production of goods, there you can apply this law. Okay, the law applies to any field of production where some factors are fixed and other factors are variable. When the factors are of two types, variable and fixed, there you can apply this law. Okay, so here first is application to the agricultural field. So increase the agricultural production, labor and capital are increased to any extent. Okay, but you cannot increase the land because it is a fixed factor. Thus, when more and more units of variable factors, for example land and capital, are applied to a fixed factors like land, then the marginal product becomes to diminish and law becomes operative. Okay, second thing is application to industry. So with the view of increasing production of manufactured goods, we have to increase the factors of production. So in industries, labor and capital are more important than land, okay, and the same can be increased as desired for long period being variable factor. This is why law of increasing returns operate in the industries for a pretty long period. But in industries also there does arise a situation where additional unit of labor, capital and enterprise are of inferior quality or are available at a higher cost. Consequently, after a point marginal product क्या होता है in the industries increases less proportionately. हम लोगों ने देखा ना, मतलब एक लेवल तक it will increase, after that it will start falling down. Okay, so law of equally valid in case of industries. सो ये लॉ एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड में एंड इंडस्ट्रियल फील्ड में वैलिड होता है. नेक्स्ट इज critics to the law of variable proportions. Okay, so here this law is a universal law. Okay, so with the assumptions also there are some limitation, that is critics matlab limitation. So here when a piece of land is newly cultivated, now land is what, it is a fixed factor. Okay, and when we observe increased addition yield in the earlier phase of cultivation, this may happen until the land is most efficiently cultivated. So here marginal returns will be first rise and after a point it will start decreasing. So here in our example, the stage of diminishing return comes after third dose of labor. Okay, यहाँ पे थर्ड लेबर जब इंक्रीज करेंगे तब मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी इंक्रीज होगी. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्रिटिक. ओके, अगर न्यूली कल्टिवेटेड लैंड है देन दिस लॉ वोंट अप्लाई ओवर देयर. Second is the law of diminishing return will not apply to the technique of production change. Okay, अगर हम लोगों ने technique of production change किया, suppose we are using continuously cultivated with a ox driven tradition wooden plow, then the process must continue. But if suddenly tractors are introduced, then marginal productivity क्या हो गई, it will increase. So this law will not apply when you change the technique of production. Third is, it is important to note that technological development cannot check the operation of diminishing return for all time to come. So here temporarily it may bring increasing return for all time to come. Temporarily it may increase the return when art of cultivation improves, but ultimately diminishing returns will prevail. Next is, it is also pointed out that doses of labor and capital must be adequate. Okay, both the doses should be adequate, should be same. But if it is less than the optimum dose, okay, जब हम लोग less than the optimum मतलब जितना फिक्स किया उतना रहना चाहिए, उसके कम है, then this law will not be operative. Okay, this law will not operate and it will not be a universal and logical necessities. Next is, it is pointed out the law of increasing return may or may not operate. That means it is not universal in the operation as the law of diminishing return. This is because increasing returns depends on the organization efficiency and marginal ability, which differs to the firm. Merely increasing labor and capital may not be increasing return. So it must be backed by organizational efficiency. Since this differs from firm, okay, so here increasing returns as a empirical fact. Okay, so these are the critics of what, law of variable proportion. Next law that we will be learning is law of return to scale. Okay, so law of returns to scales are what, it describes the behavior of total output as all inputs are varied by the same proportion. Okay, so here the factors of production are variable in long period, no factors is fixed factor. Okay, यहाँ पे जो factors है they are not fixed. So according to the definition, the scale relates to the behavior of total output as all inputs are varied in a long run concept. Okay, they say as the long run concept, in the long run the inputs whatever are there, they are varied. Okay, they will not remain the same. Okay, the term of return to scale refers to the changes in output as all factors change by the same proportion. Okay, so these are the definitions. So as the factor changes, okay, as the scale refers to changes in output, all the factors by the same proportion will change. So let's see how it is explained. Okay, so in the long run output can be increased by increasing all factors in same proportion or different proportion. Suppose हम लोगों को अगर हमारा आउटपुट इंक्रीज करना है, ओके, देन इनपुट जो है, ओके, सपोज देयर आर लैंड लेबर, सो इट शुड बी इंक्रीज इन सेम proportion or it can be increased in different proportion. So law of return to scale refers to increase in output as a result in increase in all factors in same proportion. Okay, so law of return to scale क्या बोलते हैं कि whatever we input जब हम लोग increase करते हैं, it should be in same proportion. That is your production function is equal to your labor and the capital should be increased in same proportion. Okay, यहाँ पे हम लोगों को same proportion में increase करना है. So let's see the exam schedule.